We were filming on this site a few weeks ago. It's a former pub, a 1930s pub, which is a listed building, and we've just finished transforming the first floor into a high-end HMO. So come on through, let's have a look, and I'll talk through the numbers and also the valuation that we expect to get on it as well. This is the communal space that we're in right now. We've got the kitchen here, the sofa, dining space, TV behind me. So when people are living here, this is the space that they'll be using as a communal space. It is a fairly spacious building. Originally it was the publican's residence, this first floor of the former pub. They would live here. It was a fairly tired building at that time. But when we were filming here a few weeks ago, we could see the transformation that's been made and how it looks now once it's finished. If you're here for the first time, my name is Hussain, and on this channel I share my 15 years of property investing experience with you to ultimately help you get further faster in your property investing journey. We have 3 videos a week, so make sure you check those out, and if you want to watch the one we did here a few weeks ago, they'll also be in the description further down. In this particular area, what we've done is trying to open it up and just really make it appealing for modern day living. We have hundreds and hundreds of rooms across Birmingham. We've been doing this for nearly 10 years. We've had more than 10 years. And what we do in each property, trying to implement learnings to try and make it better, more appealing for modern day living. Most of our tenants really in the early 20s to late 30s, that's a typical demographic. Where this particular building is, we're literally just a few minutes away from the motorway junction. So it may be people that are living in Birmingham and working in Birmingham, or it might be they're living in Birmingham and they need to do a lot of traveling, which is why this location will work absolutely fantastically for them. And we have a lot of rooms in this area. So again, we know the area really well. So in a moment, we'll go through, we'll look at some of the other rooms that we've got ready as well in this property. If you're wondering why I've got the table laid, it's not because I'm expecting anybody for dinner. It's what we do when we get the property ready for marketing. We like to get it staged to looking fantastic, and also it creates a homely feel as well when people come to have a look at the property. So the marketing photographs have just been done and the videos just ready for us to now start the marketing to find the right tenants for this particular property. And although we've only been working on part of this building, a very small portion of it, there's a huge amount of this building we haven't yet started working on. And that's something we'll share further videos on as and when we progress on that site. So really we've separated this bit out to get it working, start producing an income while we're working on the rest of the site. So let's go on through now, let's have a look at some of the bedrooms and I'll show you what we've done there. We'll also talk about the numbers as well. This is the largest bedroom that we're in right now. This building is a little bit different from what we traditionally would do. Normally we will take a 3-story terrace house, knock it to bits and create the space that we want. But in a building like this, we're very limited in terms of what we can move, what walls that are already there, where we can create holes where we can't. So we have to work around that space. And what we've managed to be able to do is get the 6 en-suites in here to work really well. And that was the biggest challenge. We spent a huge amount of time at the beginning as a team planning out the layout of this particular area, how we're going to get all this to work, how we're going to get the 6 rooms in, how we're going to get the 6 en-suites in, how's all the drainage going to work, how we're going to connect and flow to the rest of the space, and also the entrance as well, because we're only, as I mentioned, using a portion of the building and not the entire building. So that in itself was quite a big challenge. So some of the things we've done here have been a little bit different. For instance, the lighting, we haven't gone for full spotlights here. We've just gone a traditional pendant light here with a bright LED lighting. You see it's fairly well lit, but we ensure that it's dimmable so that, you know, if somebody wants a nice bright area like this where they're studying or working on the computer, they can do that. And if they want something a little bit more softer, then that's there for them as well as a choice. So it's just thinking about these little things and how people are going to be able to benefit from it. So for instance, the space behind me here, it was a little bit of an odd space. We couldn't move this, so we just left just about enough space to work within and have the wardrobe in there and make it work in that particular way. With this being the largest room in the building, it will command the highest rent. So room sizes, our smallest room is more than 10 square meters. This one's a little bit bigger, so they're not hugely different in terms of size. Rent-wise, we'll achieve about £600 on this room versus the smallest room, which would be about £550. So there isn't a huge difference. Overall, the combined rent for the month will be about £3,500. But when we come to price the rooms, we're not only looking at what's the square footage, what's the actual amount of floor space, we're just looking at what makes the room more desirable, more nicer. So you've got a few quirky little angles in this room. They've all got huge windows that let lots of natural light in, but we've got to try and price up the rooms in a way that we think where we'll get the best possible rent. Now, some of the rooms might get negotiated. Now, if you have a couple where you've got more than one person in a room, you might be able to charge a higher rent. But in this particular building, we're not going to be doing that. We've only got 6 people because we're only licensed to have 6 people in this particular space. Although all the rooms have now been furnished, including the communal space, however, they're not being dressed. We've dressed one of the rooms, which we'll go and look at in a moment. And then we'll also talk about the valuation in terms of what do you value a building like this, what's it worth. And although we haven't completed the entire site, but we're now able to get a valuation just on this portion of the property. So let's go on through and have a look at the other room. This bedroom has been staged for marketing purposes, or dressed as we call it, and the reason for that is because we want to try and create some lifestyle in terms of aspirations when people are looking for a bedroom. Whether it's this room or something else they might be looking at, people are not going to be making decisions purely on logic. They won't just be looking at the location, the size of the room, where it is. People make decisions based on their emotion. How do they feel about this particular bedroom, this particular room compared to something else? Now here, what we try and do is make sure that we cater for those needs, because our market is typically people that have lived in shared environments before. They left university, they were a student house before, and now they still like the idea of living with other people. And remember, what this also does, it creates a transient community, meaning people don't stay for a very long time. Here, when somebody's renting one of these rooms, they're not going to be here for 3, 5, 7 years. It's very likely they might be here for 6 months, a year, probably 2 years at the very most. So we've got to remember what we're doing is appealing to a type of people that will enjoy staying here, and it will still be a great room as well when somebody else wants to move into here. And we try and create a fairly modern decor, so we use lots of white and greys, and we've probably got 50 shades of grey we've used in here, with a little tinge of gold as well. But joking apart, we were going to talk about the numbers and valuations. And when we do these conversions, how do you value what something like this is worth? And this is a question I do get asked quite a lot. The main reason people choose to do HMOs is not because they want lots of tenants, they want to be tidying up all these rooms, they want to be unplugging and unblocking all these en-suites. The reason people are interested in HMOs is because their cash flow that they make every month. And also, it's possible to structure the deals that you're putting your money in, you're acquiring the property, you're renovating it to a high standard, and then you're refinancing it, extracting all your money out. So you still own the asset, you've got cash flow in it as well. That's the ideal. That's what many people aspire to. That's the holy grail of HMOs, if you like. However, it's not that straightforward. And for doing this for many, many years, we worked out how they value these type of properties and how you can best structure to be able to set it up in the best possible way to be able to extract your money out of the deal. So a building like this, because it's a mixed use, it's a much bigger building, we're taking a portion of it, if you like, a flat within this whole building, and the value of that will be around £360,000 for this as a 6-bedroom HMO. And the way they calculate is a number of different ways. In fact, I'm going to be doing a video very soon and I'll go into this in a lot more detail, explaining exactly how HMO valuations work. But essentially here, what's happening is they take the income from the property, so here about £3,500 a month, they'll take off some running and operational costs, and then they'll have a multiplier, they'll multiply it by a certain number, it might be 8, 9, 10, whatever it might be, to achieve an end number. Now there's different ways to calculate the figure. Another way is a preferred method of mine is the cost per unit. So this is one unit, i.e. one room within the building, i.e. this HMO. So it's £60,000, and we've got 6 of these, they're £360,000. That's another way of looking at the figures, and that's my preferred way when I'm doing quick calculations. Remember, these are not scientific calculations, these are just different ways we can put the figures together, and I'll look out for that video where I go into this in a lot more detail. I hope you enjoyed this tour of the HMO part of this huge building that we've got here. This site is amazing. There's so many things that we're going to be doing here, and we'll be sharing the progress of the site as it's evolving as well. If you're enjoying this content, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, and have the notification bell so you are notified when we're releasing these videos. Remember, on a Wednesday we have videos that are much more informational, training based around the strategies, and so ensure that you're watching those as well. If you've got questions around HMOs, converting them, setting them up, things that you'd like to see in the projects that we're doing, make sure you put it in the comment section below, and I'll hope to do more videos around what it is that you want to see. So that just leaves me to say thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again on the next video.